My next guest says the case could make accounting firms sit up and take notice. Joseph Borg is the director of Alabama Securities Commission, known for pursuing white-collar criminals well beyond just Alabama's borders. Joe, good to have you with us. And how much of a notice are they going to take with this case?
Good morning, Betty. And I think they will take notice, especially when the allegations that Cuomo's brought are very clear. Instead of being auditors, they started acting as advocates for the company, and therefore not doing the function of what is the true nature of the Lehman Brothers assets and the use of the repo 105s.
Right.
So I think this could have a major impact.
Okay, but what I think there's a distinction here is, right, Joe, that, was it that Ernst Young just colluded with them to overuse this type of repo 105 accounting tool, or did they actually do something illegal? Isn't that going to mean the difference between this just being a case by itself and this being picked up by other states?
Well, I think that's correct, and the facts will have to come out during the trial. Of course, if you read the complaint, there's a lot of indications that Ernst Young certainly knew that this was going to be some sort of a legal maneuver, especially when you have a senior officer of the company calling it another drug we're on, referring to Lehman, of course. And if that's the case, then I think that the distinction is going to be, do you use these accounting rules, these FASB rules, in the proper method that they're supposed to be used? Audit the firm, give a true picture. But if you are trying to use it as a maneuver to make it look better for a 3-day period or a 5-day period, then you are not keeping with the idea of what it is to be an auditor.
Then what does Cuomo and his successor, what are they going to have to do with this case to get the other states to start picking up on this and start looking for similar types of fraud?
I think what's going to happen is this is going to send a message out that those accounting firms, if they use the proper FASB rules and do it properly, there should be no problem. The rule itself is not the problem. It's the application and the use.
Right, but what I mean is, what does Cuomo have to do? Because does he have to go after them aggressively? Does he not settle? Does he have to fight this out in court in order to make the point?
Well, I think the point's already probably been made in the fact that the case has been brought. Most of these cases get settled. This is a civil case, not a criminal case, so it's very different than the Arthur Anderson obstructing justice case. And I think what's going to happen is as the continued fallout from Lehman and other companies occurs, this is going to be another area that's going to be looked at by federal and state regulators. Were these maneuvers used? And if so, I think you'll see other cases. Okay.
What about what's happening, in Alabama? I mean, are you hearing a lot more of the state agencies, the state agency, the local agencies, now picking up on fraud?
Oh, there's quite a bit. Our case volume on the criminal side is up tremendously. Certainly the fallout from Madoff and Stanford and the Ponzi's and pyramids, especially with the economy the way it is, people looking for a way to make up their retirement funds. There's sort of all sorts of scams, everything from real estate and oil and gas to foreign currency and trading exchanges and tax havens. So I think that there's a new
but you've seen like a doubling,
both on a federal and state level.
But Joe, you've seen a doubling, a tripling?
I think so.
Or yeah? Which one?
I would say
doubling?
it's twice what it's been historically. Yeah, I'd say a doubling, at least in my area. It's probably higher in certain areas and maybe lower in some of the lesser populated states.
Joe, I appreciate your time with us. Thank you so much. Joe Borg, the director of Alabama's Securities Commission, talking about white-collar crime.